First up on the bulletin, there's some big breaking news. This is coming in regarding the kind of stand that President Trump of America has taken, it seems, against Pakistan. Well, US NSA McMaster has lashed out at Pakistan and has asked our neighbor to engage through diplomacy instead of proxies. In fact, he very categorically says that Pakistan stops the proxy war and goes after terror groups less selectively. And this according to the NSA. Remember, the NSA's next stop is going to be in India. The National Security Advisor, and remember, he too is an Afghan war veteran. He's chastised Pakistan for continued use of proxies and violence in order to pursue their own interests. In fact, very categorically, he said that US hopes that Pakistani leaders will understand that it is in their interest to go after terrorist groups less selectively than they have in the past. Now, this is something that he's already said, and quite interestingly, remember, he is in Pakistan right now. He has arrived at Islamabad, and following which the next stop for him is going to be in India.
We've hoped that Pakistani leaders will understand that it's in their interest to go after these groups less selectively than they have in the past, and that the best way to pursue their interests in Afghanistan and elsewhere is through diplomacy, not through the use of proxies that engage in violence.
Well, strong words they're coming in from the NSA of the United States of America. Let me go across to our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, who's joining us with more on this. This is the right tone set, isn't it, Geeta, right before McMaster visits India. This is the kind of stand that Delhi was hoping that the Trump administration would take, but more importantly, how much of it is U.S. going to be carrying out?
Well, that's right, Meghna. This is a very important statement coming from none other than the National Security Advisor of the United States of America, and a very important statement that he's put out in that interview that he gave to a news organization called Najafizada in Afghanistan. He has very openly spelled out that Pakistani leadership will have to understand that it is in their interest to not have proxies. Meghna, this comes only a day after, a day before he was to leave for Afghanistan and Pakistan and then come to India. The State Department spokesperson Mark Toner said the same thing, exposing Pakistan on the proxies that they use, the safe havens that continue to be there, and that it is in nobody's interest to use terrorism and terror networks as proxies. The United States of America has been trying to impress upon Pakistan in doing so, in doing that. There is a bill in the U.S. Trying to ensure that the aid for Pakistan is frozen until the time Pakistan does not show intent. Now, it is for Pakistan to see whether they want American aid, and if the National Security Advisor goes back and reports to Trump on the dishonesty, which is what India is going to give all the details and evidence and talk to McMaster about, Meghna. If he goes back to his boss, the President of the United States of America, and gives an adverse report on Pakistan, then Pakistan could be in real trouble.
And Geeta, does this statement also set the tone for McMaster's next trip, which is going to be to the national capital, Delhi? What are the kind of pertinent demands which Delhi would be putting forth to the U.S. administration?
Well, right now we are not looking at demands, but we are talking about the seriousness of and the gravity of the entire situation that exists in South Asia, Meghna, and in that India is going to share not just in conversation about the concerns India has, but also share evidences and details of how India has been bothered, the satellite information, the intercepts that India has on how Pakistan has tried to destabilize India through its proxies in the valley, how Pakistan has been trying to destabilize India through the terror networks and the sleeper cells that exist in various other cities of India. And Pakistan has been working with these terror organizations rather than dismantling that exist in various other cities of India. And Pakistan has been working with these terror organizations rather than dismantling the terror infrastructure, which is what she keeps promising to the United States of America.
Right. Well, McMaster, of course, is coming next to India in the midst of a review of the new administration's policy for the region, which, of course, is being closely monitored on the subcontinent itself. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Geeta Mohan. But with that, let's move on in the bulletin now and talk about the news.